If you're following on from the last video on how to make Microsoft lists more useful, then you're in the right place. If you haven't seen this video yet, then probably best to go and check that one out first. This one's following on from that one, where last time we looked at how to make lists more useful using some of the functionalities that are within lists about notifications. And in this video, we're going to look at how to use Power Automate for recurrence and reminders using lists as our task or project management app of choice. So click the subscribe button and the bell icon if you haven't already. We've got new videos on Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Teams coming out every Tuesday. Why listen to me? Well, I am the founder of MeTime. We help organizations with modern workplace transformations using Microsoft 365 to save people hours per person per week. If you're interested in doing the same and working together, then stick around to the end for some details about how to do that. But for now, let's finish off having a look at lists and Power Automate. So the bit we need Power Automate for then is to remind someone that their task's due. So maybe we set them a task and it's got like 9 months to go. We've assigned them, they've got a notification that they've been assigned a task, and then we've never followed them up. So then all of that is manual. And that's the bit that Planner does really well in chasing people for you that's missing when we come on to use lists. Obviously the benefit of lists is that we can have a lot more bespoke columns and stuff we need to keep track of. So in this example, they've got another column saying risk, so we can keep track and filter on the riskier items that we want to manage that we couldn't do that easily in Planner, although there are some fields we could use like labels and things. But what Planner does really well is follow people up, which List doesn't do out of the box. So that's where we need to jump into Power Automate. We can do that a couple of ways. You can either click on Integrate and then go into Power Automate, create a flow, and then we get some ideas and we can show more. And there isn't really many things that are going to do what we want to do, which is a little bit surprising considering this is, it's quite basic functionality we want to do. We're just going to jump out into Power Automate proper, just make that a little bigger for you, and we're going to create one from scratch. I'm going to do it as a scheduled cloud flow just to make the logic a bit easier. So we'll call this recurrence 2, so we already made one. We're going to run it every Monday morning at 7 AM, whenever, and we're going to repeat it every week on a Monday. Because we're looking at monthly sort of cadence of documents, it makes the logic a bit easier when we're doing Power Automate. So every time this runs, it's going to look for things that aren't completed, that are due within the next 30 days, and then email the people that are responsible for those tasks. If we have the cadence a lot shorter than that, they'd get an email every day. It's like, well, I'm working on it. Why do you keep bothering me? It's because the recurrence is set too quickly. So if you do want to follow someone up every day, you can set it to every day, but no, they're going to get pinged every day until they complete it. And you could have a couple of these, so one that's notifying them every week when it's 30 days out, and one that's notifying them every day once it's a week out or something like that. So you could combine these. And we're going to create that. So we've got the recurrence. We're going to do a new step, which is SharePoint get items. So we always need to pull back the items before we can do anything with them. We are going to go in the testing team for YouTube. The list name is test list for Maria. And what we're going to do is click on show advanced options. And we need to filter the query, because otherwise we're going to use the entire list, and it's going to go through every single item on the list and ping everybody on the list, even if stuff isn't due and it's already been closed. So we need to filter stuff that it's being closed. Using a view that we've already created doesn't actually filter the table for us, so we need to do the filter query. So I've already done some Googling and found that we need to type in due date is less than or equal to, and we need to use the apostrophe because otherwise it breaks. If you miss this bit out, it's very frustrating. You can't see why it works. It doesn't tell you why it's not worked. And then we need to add in the expression. We're going to add days. When it pops up, we're going to use that one. UTC now. And then we're going to add 30 days onto that. And we're going to go year, month, day. And hopefully we've got all the apostrophes and the brackets all sorted. So that's going to say the due date's less than or equal to today plus 30 days, same as we did in the view, but this is the sort of code version of it. Add that in. Remember the second apostrophe in there, and then we just need and status is not equal to closed, and we can just type that in. So hopefully that gives you some idea about what you might need in there to filter the query if you're not used to that sort of thing. And then the notification we're going to use for ease in this example is then just to go and send someone an email. So we do new step, we want to use Outlook at Office 365 Outlook, send an email v2. So when we go and put in who we wanted to send the email to and add dynamic content, we're going to pick the assigned to email from the list that we've just got. And as soon as we click that, it's going to wrap it in or apply to each sort of wrapper for us. So what that means is it's going to get the items, but filtered down to just the list of ones that aren't closed and are due in the next 30 days, or ones that we've missed. And then this apply to each is going to step through every single list item one by one, and then send an email every time it finds someone in that list. So there are some more complicated ways where we can just find out all the tasks that are due to somebody, create some HTML, and then put that in the email so they just get one email. For the purposes of our use, to make it simple, we're just going to get one email every time there's a list item there that's due. So subject, we can then pick out some more dynamic content. So we're going to say title is due soon. And that's going to pick out the title from the list item, and then we can put whatever we want in the body, but for now I'm just going to put the title and link to item, so that at least someone can get back to it from the email. So that's all we need to do. Then we just click save, and that's good to go. I'm not going to save it because I've already got one set up, so I don't want to have two things running. And then the last bit of automation that we need to make this really work is that when an item is modified, because otherwise it'll create an infinite loop if we do it with created, then if the conditions that the status is equal to closed or completed, then we'll create a new task that's copied one before with that next due date on. So to do that, we're going to click back on create. I'm not saving it, so that's okay. And this one's an automated cloud flow. So on SharePoint, when an item or file is modified, so that's what we want, create, we will pick our testing team for YouTube, test this for Maria, and that's all we need in that step. We need a condition that the status value we want, because it's the value of that column we want, is equal to closed. So if it's not equal to closed, then it's just do nothing. So we're going to do nothing there. But then if it is closed, and it's only triggering when it's been modified, and we know that if it's been modified and then it's closed, we're then going to create something else. You need to be mindful of the logic. If you modify something else on a closed record, it's going to duplicate it for you. So there's a bit of business rules that we need to think about in training to say, well, don't go and change anything that's closed. That's pretty unlikely in our scenario, so we can get away with something a bit simpler when we come on to do the automation. If people are going to likely to change stuff that's closed, you need more logic to say whether you do or don't want to recreate that task. So this is when we're completing a task that's say monthly, we then want to create another task for us that's the same task but the next month on. And because we've got a choice column to say how often things are due, then we can use a switch to then sort of do that logic for us. So if it is equal to closed and it's just been modified, so we've just complete that task, we're then going to use switch, and the switch is on the frequency value, and so we need to type this exactly as it's in our choice. So if it equals monthly, we're going to do something else. If it is quarterly, and if it's semi-annually, we're going to do something slightly different in each of those cases. So it's going to look for this frequency value, and then if it's equal to one of these, it's going to do the same, the thing we're going to say underneath. So we need to make sure these are typed exactly correctly, otherwise it's not going to work. So the thing that we are going to do in each case is create a new item. So we want to go into SharePoint and create item. I want to create an item in the testing team for YouTube and the test list for Maria. the title we're going to pick from the other title. So it's going to copy the one that we've just closed. Assigned to, we're going to pick assigned to. Link to file is the same link to file in this instance, but if it's different for you, then it's different for you. And then due date, we are going to add a function, or an expression rather. So we're going to do add days, trigger outputs, question mark, square brackets. We need a apostrophe, body slash due date, and then outside the square brackets do -30, comma, year, month, date. Oh, I've put bossy, that's not good. Body. I don't know code. If you don't know code, just try and Google it and copy someone else's code, which is exactly what I did for this bit. This seemed to work. I tried lots of other different things, and someone very helpful had put this on the internet. So thank you, whoever that was. I cannot remember, but thank you. If it was you, let me know in the comments below. Frequency value, we're going to set to monthly because we know it's in the monthly bucket. It's going to stay monthly, and the status value we want to put back to open, and the risk value we want to be the same as it was before. So we're going to pick dynamic content and search for risk value. So that's how we're doing that one. We do the same thing for the other two. So quarterly, we're going to add 90 days, semi-annually, we're going to add 180 days or whatever half year is. And then that's all we're going to do. We just recreate it, and that's the end of the flow. So we just click save, and then it's all done. Now we come back into the list. If we have come into this test request one, so ID number 7, and we say, yeah, we're overdue, but we've now closed that one. Saves it. That one has changed to closed. In the background, that Power Automate should now be running to create us a new task. So if we wait a little bit and click refresh, we should see this one disappearing because it's now closed, and that should then go off our view, and we should see another one pop in there. Okay, so the Power Automate is now fired up, and then we've got another couple because I did one. So now we've got 2 more new test requests that were number 7 and 9, and now created number 10 and 11, and we can see that's added on another month to those dates that we had before. So making Power Automate a lot more useful. If I get assigned a task, it's going to notify me. If someone changes the task and changes the assignment, it's going to notify me, and I'm going to get reminded when the due date's coming up, all via email. And I'm also going to create another task with recurring tasks, and when I make it closed, it's then going to create another task for me. So hopefully you've seen how to make lists a lot more useful. If you want to know more and want to work together to do stuff like this, then we've got a variety of options on working together now. In the comments below, there's probably some links to how to get in touch, but probably best to link up on LinkedIn if you're interested. If you want to do some Teams training, there's a link in the description below to help you do that. And if you want to know how to structure everything, then one of our pre-recorded webinars is linked below as well. If you're in the food and beverage industry, then we do some live webinars, and the best place to link up for that is on LinkedIn. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified every time a new video comes out. We've got a new one coming out every Tuesday. And if you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up before you leave. It really does help the algorithm and help us on YouTube. If you really liked it, consider buying me a beer using the link in the description below. It does help support and the channel and keep new content coming out for free. So thanks very much for watching so far. I'll see you in the next video.